Hello and welcome back to Fanboy Talks, the channel all about the video game news you and your friends, your loved ones, whoever might care about, I guess. I don't know what you care about. My name is Vaughn Hyde and I am an amateur games journalist just trying to talk about video games on YouTube. You guys can talk to me outside of the show, outside of the channel, over on Twitter at Hyde Legion if you'd like to. Talk about pretty much everything, comics, fucking superheroes, movies, games, whatever. Let's actually get into what this show is all about, and that is the games news. So for our first story of today, it is over on IGN. It is written by Michelle or Michael, not 100% sure, Coxawara. I don't fucking know. I'm so bad at this. Make sure you guys check out the links down below in the description to actually check out these articles in their full, in their entirety, and you can actually see who the fuck wrote them, because apparently I can't pronounce them. This is E3 lays out security guidelines for this year's show. So this article goes on to talk about all the weird ass shit that you can't do at E3 now unless you have a press pass, for the most part. Basically, unless you're some sort of content creator or a games journalist, you're not going to be able to bring backpacks. You can only bring a small bags, and it has like specific dimensions. You can go through and get swag bags on the show floor, but once you leave, you can't bring those back in, and you must be able to power on and show them all your electronics. I mean, this is some really odd stuff. I've never been to E3. This is the second time that they're allowing people, the public, to actually go to E3, and from what I understand, last year kind of got bogged down, but this year I'm assuming they're trying to fix that, especially with these security guidelines. I mean, I don't even really know. It talks about some weird stuff, and I imagine people are going to get kind of annoyed because they're going to see people like with bags and stuff, and they can't bring their bags. The only people that are going to be allowed to carry cameras are actually going to be like press and games personnel. So that kind of sucks for all the people who want to take pictures there. I guess everybody has a smartphone now, and they all have cameras on them that are sometimes better than the DSLR that I actually record on right now. So you never know. You'll still be able to take pictures. You're just not going to be able to take pictures with your fucking Nikon or Canon camera or whatever that you might have with you. On one hand, it sucks. On the other hand, it's probably necessary, because I don't know what the hell people are trying to sneak into E3, but it's probably not good. So yeah, good for them, I guess, for setting some guidelines and some rules. For our second story of today, it is over on IGN. It's written by Jordan Oloman, and it is Telltale's Wolf Among Us Season 2 delayed to 2019. If you guys are a fan of the Fables comic series, or just the original Season 1 of The Wolf Among Us, you got to play as Big V Wolf. It was fucking awesome. I loved it, and I generally just enjoy Telltale games altogether. The revamping that they do with adventure games is really, really awesome, and I'm excited to see where the genre goes with Telltale kind of pioneering all this new stuff. I've heard that they're going to be putting all of their new games into new engines, so they aren't as clunky and weird. I'm super excited about this. Sadly, Wolf Among Us Season 2 is delayed to 2019, which definitely sucks, because I'm a fan of the Fables comic series, and I'm a fan of the original Wolf Among Us. It looks like they were cited on what caused the delay as just fundamental changes, which last year Telltale actually did see wide restructuring last year. That resulted in 25% of their staff being laid off, which really sucked when I heard about that. I'm excited to see what comes out of this game. I hope they put it in a new engine, and I really want to see what Telltale's doing behind the scenes, what they're actually producing. More adventure games that are out there in the wild could be really awesome. I'm excited about it. I love that they're just story based. It's not about the action. It's not even sometimes it's not about the cinematics. It's just about the story, which I find fantastic, and I love the cel shaded art style that comes with the Telltale game. I'm excited, but also super depressed because it got delayed to 2019. I don't think they actually ever confirmed that it was coming in 2018, so I don't know if it was technically delayed, like how Days Gone was not technically delayed, but since they put the word delayed on it, people were like, oh yeah, it was coming in 2018, but now 2019. It's like, whatever. Doesn't really matter when it initially was supposed to come out. Now it's coming out in 2019. So I'm excited to see what happens on this one, and I will make sure to keep you guys updated on anything that might happen with this story. Next up, we're over on Polygon, where Charlie Hall writes, Battlefield 5 will have a premium real money currency. So this is actually really interesting, especially because of what happened with EA, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and last year's microtransaction issue kerfuffle. I guess. I don't know what people say. Basically, people blew up about how entangled microtransactions were with actual progression in the game, how hard it was to get like credits to purchase new characters that ended up dominating. Star cards and stuff like that were super easy to purchase because you just purchase loot boxes. But it seems like in Battlefield 5, since they have actually removed the premium pass and they're no longer selling the season pass content separately, it's all actually just going to be free, similar to how Star Wars Battlefront is doing it as well. This was part of a news story that I actually didn't cover earlier because I didn't put out a video on Friday because I went camping over the weekend. They're not including the premium pass anymore. They're not going to be selling the DLC separately, so they did have to monetize it somehow, which it looks like in Battlefield 5 they're actually going to be including a lot of cosmetic options, and it seems like from this article it is going to be purely cosmetic. It is not going to be tied in with getting guns or any sort of loot or anything like that. It is purely cosmetic, and it's supposed to have a lot of cosmetic items that are going to be going into Battlefield 5. There's also a weird, I just wanted to talk about this real quick. There's this huge controversy with Battlefield 5 not being historically accurate because there are women in the game, which if you study up on any sort of history, no matter what war, I'm fairly certain that women fought in it, maybe not in the most traditional ways, but women fight in basically every war. They're not just excluded, so that's kind of a broad statement, but Battlefield has never been hyper realistic anyway. IGN had an article that I was going to report on that was like massive amounts. There's like 20 things that are unrealistic in Battlefield, and the one that was that women are actually in the war. The weirdest thing about this is, though, the woman that everyone is freaking out about has a fully articulate prosthetic arm, which I find so odd because I don't know how evolved the technology was in World War II, but it's a pretty advanced prosthetic, which I find really, really odd. She's essentially a fucking cyborg and can shoot guns and basically do everything with this little claw that she has, which I understand that a lot of people, once they get used to their new prosthetics, they can do that. But this is something that I would think they would have talked about a little bit more. They're like, oh man, women in the game, that's fucked up. But this fucking cyber arm is totally cool. I don't think I'll ever understand that, but okay. Let's just completely glance over that weird bit of false reality. I don't really know. It's odd. But yes, women did play a role in World War I, World War II. Fucking, they'll play one in World War III. Just every war, women play a role whether you like it or not. So it being historically accurate does not really matter, especially because it's Battlefield and it's never been strictly accurate. For our next story, we're over on Kotaku. This is Killer 7 is coming to Steam this fall, written by Eric Van Allen. I never played Killer 7. Apparently it's like an occult classic. People really, really love this game, and now that I can actually play it on my PC, I might do that. So it looks like in this PC port, it's actually going to be optimized for PC, in quotations. Game Informer reported that it is going to include keyboard and mouse control options, which is pretty interesting. And like I said, I never played the original, so I don't know what it featured beforehand, but I'm assuming because of that, it was just a normal, like a standard controller. And it looks like another update from it is that NIS America will be publishing this new version rather than the game's original publisher in 2005, which was Capcom. This seems really exciting. I'm kind of interested in this, especially because of its odd art aesthetic and the fact that people like shit their pants over this seemingly because everyone is talking about this. So I'm excited about it. I'm definitely going to give it a chance. I would recommend a lot of you guys check this out. The trailer's really interesting. It seems to be just entirely about like assassination. That sounds pretty cool. And I know I'm just some sort of like pleb, some fucking amateur gamer as well as an amateur games journalist because I haven't played Killer 7, but whatever. I'll just go fucking die, I guess. So these next couple of stories are actually going to be more indie focused because if you guys have been paying attention to the show or anything like that, I'm a huge fan of indie games, and I want indie creators and indie games to get a lot more spotlight. I'm trying to develop another series entirely other than Fanboy Talks, which is the news show, just about featuring indie games. But this story, now that I've gone on like a weird tangent, is over on Game Informer. It is Feudal Alloy, the medieval action RPG, has you play as a fish-powered robot. This is super odd. It's being developed by two guys in the Czech Republic, I believe. Their studio is called A2 Games, I believe. It's really interesting. It looks super odd. It is a 2D platformer like Metroidvania that has entirely hand-drawn art. It looks awesome, and just the premise of playing as a goldfish, like controlling a robot, is so odd and interesting. It looks like it's going to be coming out later this year on PC, but the release date has not yet been confirmed. I'm going to keep you guys updated on this one, but seriously, it looks awesome. Make sure you check out Feudal Alloy. It looks really, really odd and really, really cool. For our next story, we're over on Game Informer. This one written by Imran Khan. I believe I said his name correctly, and it is Mega Man X inspired Rogue-Lite 20XX coming to consoles. Those consoles being PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. This was released in 2014 on Steam Early Access. Since then, the developers Battery Stable and Firehouse Games have really worked on it, and it's coming to consoles on July 10th, which I'm really excited about. If you guys are Mega Man fans, make sure you check this game out. It looks really, really awesome, and it seems very reminiscent of games like Rogue Legacy, which I was a huge fan of Rogue Legacy, and the way that it really pieced together the roguelite genre, where each time you actually just played as a new descendant, adding on to your stronghold, which was really awesome. That ended up helping you in the long run to progress further. It's not a roguelike, it's a roguelite. The distinction between the two is really, really odd. I believe it's just one being able to take something to the next, and the other you just have to start all over. So like Enter the Gungeon, I would say, is roguelike, because every time you just start over again, the only thing that you have is experience. Roguelike, like Rogue Legacy, or supposedly 20XX, where you actually get some sort of power-ups, or Dead Cells, I believe, is also one where you get some sort of power-ups that ends up helping you in the next entry. I love 2D platformers, 2D pixel platformers especially, and it looks like 20XX is actually going to have a co-op in both local and online forms, so that's super awesome. Not many 2D platformers you get to play in co-op, let alone one that fucking Mega Man fans are going to be creaming in their pants over. They're going to be super excited about, so I'm excited about this one. Make sure you guys check it out. July 10th is when this is going to be coming to PS4, Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch. And for our last story of today, like I said, these are kind of like smaller stories because it was kind of a rough weekend for games news, but also I want to talk about indies. So this is Indie RPG Rainbow Skies launches June 26th on PS4, PS3, and PS Vita. This is actually cross-buy, so when you buy it on the PS4, PS3, or the Vita, you can actually play it on all of the other consoles. It is very hardcore inspired, it seems like, by the early Final Fantasy games and their turn-based combat. Also, it seems like the Fire Emblem games have also inspired it a little bit. It seems interesting. I don't know how I feel about the art style altogether. It looks kind of odd, but kind of interesting. And it seems like, I'm assuming that it's not going to have a level cap for your characters, because in the gameplay trailer, you see characters that are like level 500, which is just crazy. Rainbow Skies is supposedly the indirect sequel of Rainbow Moon. If you guys played Rainbow Moon, make sure to check this one out when it comes out on June 26th. I've checked out Rainbow Moon several times on the PS4, but did not click purchase. I don't know why. I think it's the art style that kind of gets me. I want to make sure I give my money to indie games first, then AAA games. So I'll see what happens. I might buy Rainbow Skies. Make sure you guys check it out. If it looks like you guys might like it, make sure you pick it up, because fucking support indies, okay? That's all I have to say. All right. The last thing I want to talk about today isn't a news story or anything like that. It's actually just the recommended reading that I would recommend, I guess. It's over on Kotaku. It is written by Carmen Kunzelman, and it is The Week in Games Independent Street Fighters. So it looks like this is a list that they're putting out of entirely independent games, for the most part, over on Kotaku. I'm really excited about it, especially because a lot of the games that are coming out on May 29th, you got Sodesco publishing a physical edition of Owlboy that I'm super excited about. I've already got mine pre-ordered. We got like Moonlighter coming out on the 29th as well. Lots and lots of games that are coming out, so make sure you guys check out that article to see all these sweet indie games, or just games in general, that are coming out within this next week or the beginning of next week. I'm excited about these, and I hope you guys enjoy that article as much as I did. I guess it's kind of just like a shopping list, but whatever. And that's it for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked it, make sure you click the like button. If you don't like it, click the dislike button, and make sure to leave me some constructive criticism in the comments down below. That would really help me out. If you guys would like to talk to me outside of the show, make sure you follow me at Hyde Legion on Twitter. You guys can hit me up there. We talk about pretty much anything, including the show. But that's it for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.